Welcome to Learn with Amine. In this video, I'll be talking about homestead exemption. So recently, I was talking with one of my friends and I was surprised that he does not know about a homestead exemption. Although he could have saved property taxes that he pays on his home by using the homestead exemption. So in this video, I'll be explaining what is homestead exemption, how much of the property taxes you can save if you apply for homestead exemption, and what are the eligibility criteria for the homestead exemption. So let's get started. Homestead exemption is a relief that is given by the US government or the US counties to homeowners who are living in their primary homes. So basically, if you are living in a house and if you own the house, then you can claim it to be your primary house and you can apply for the homestead exemption. And homestead exemption cannot be applied on your investment property which you have rented to some other persons or renters or tenants. So basically, this is for the primary homes, the homes that you are living in and homes that you own. And you can apply for the homestead exemption on only one house, and the eligibility criteria is simple. You need to own the house and you are living in the house. And in order to prove that you are living in a house that you own, you need to have an ID card, state driver's license, or a national ID card on that particular address. So first step is that you need to apply or reapply or reissue your driving license when you are applying for the homestead exemption. And also, for example, you did not know about homestead exemption like my friend, and if you are in the second year of living in that particular house, then you can still apply for the homestead exemption on that particular house to your particular county, and they will try to give you the property taxes that you have paid in excess in the first year. So as soon as you know about homestead exemption, it is really important for you to jump on your guns and apply for the homestead exemption as soon as possible. And the first step is get an ID card on that particular address. So this is what is homestead exemption. Let me show you how much savings you can do if you are applying for homestead exemption. The overview of this presentation is homestead exemption. I have already explained what homestead exemption is in detail. And here in this presentation, we'll see different components of property tax and what are the savings with homestead exemption with actual numbers, but for an example home. Now, the different components of the property taxes are the tax that you pay to the county, you pay tax for the central health services, you pay tax to municipal district or mud district. This is the second major component of the property tax. Then you also pay tax to the community college or amenities or public parks which are located near your residence. Then you pay tax to the school district or ISD, and this is the major component of the property tax that you pay when you own a home in United States. And then the sixth component is tax for emergency services. Let's take an example of a home that is priced at $300,000 in a particular county. And for that particular county, the total property tax percentage is 2.54%. And this is how the different components take up the tax of 2.54%. So the major component of the property tax goes to the school district and it is around 1.22%. The second major component goes to the mud district or the municipal district and it is around 0.72. These numbers will be different for your particular home, but I am showing you a sample home in a sample county so that you understand how different components of property tax work and what is the relative ratio of the property tax to different tax components. And then we have tax to county, which is 0.3%, tax for central health services, which is 0.1%, tax to community college or amenities 0.09%, and tax for emergency services 0.1%. So in total you are paying around 2.54% of the assessment price of your home. So if your home is assessed at 300,000 US dollars, then you pay around 2.5% of that 300,000 annually as property taxes to the county, and these are the different tax components. Now let's see how much property tax you will pay without homestead exemption. Assessment price. So this is the price at which the house is assessed or appraised by the county for the taxation purposes. The assessment price has nothing to do with the future selling price of the home. Do not worry that if you are fighting to bring down the assessment price, then you will hinder your chances of selling this house at a higher price in the future. So that is not true. It is a myth. So do not worry when you do any tax protest, or if you are applying for the homestead exemption. The assessment value has nothing to do with the future selling price of the home. Now the assessment value of the home with regards to different components of the tax without homestead exemption is 297,000 US dollars. And since you have not applied for homestead exemption, then the assessment value with regards to different tax components stays at the same price, which is around 297,000. And after you multiply with the tax percentage, the tax without exemption, it comes to around 3,600 just for the component of school district, and $2,000 for the component of municipal district, and several other components are there, and you calculate the tax by multiplying the tax percent and the assessment value. So the total amount of property tax that you pay without homestead exemption for that particular house is 7,575 US dollars per annum. This is the property tax without homestead exemption. Now let's see how much exemption will be applied if you are approved for the homestead exemption by a county. So the exemptions that will be provided will be up to 100,000 US dollars. So that is, for the school district, the assessment value will be deducted by an amount of 100,000. Community college tax component will be exempted or deducted by $5,000, and the health district and county will be deducted by 60,000 US dollars. So that means the assessment value for different tax components after the exemption comes to a lower value. So this is the taxable value after the exemption. So you can see the highest tax percent is for the school district, which is around 1.22%. And now the assessment value after the exemption is reduced from 297,000 to 197,000. That is reduction of 100,000, and this is going to decrease your tax dollars to the county office. Let's see how much amount of tax you will be paying after the homestead exemption. So that would come around $6,103. So that is about the savings of $1,472 per year, just if you have applied for homestead exemption after you have moved to a primary home that you own. Other important factors to remember is homestead exemption needs to be applied only one time. You need not apply every year. So there is no hassle in application of homestead exemption. You apply for once and you will be able to save around 1,500 US dollars per year till you live in that particular home. And homestead exemption can be applied on only one home that you purchase, and on the home in which you are staying or living, and if you own that home. This is a significant savings amount, so I would consider you to apply for the homestead exemption. Apart from this, in order to reduce the property tax, you can also apply for tax protest. I have a video on tax protest on my channel. I'll be linking that video in the description below, so please watch that. You need to apply for property tax protest every year. You can do it by self or you can apply through attorney, and I have provided you with mechanism that you can apply for tax protest so that you can save more. In the next part of the video, we will look at how to apply for homestead exemption for a sample county. Let's see how to apply for homestead exemption in a sample or example county, which is Williamson County. I am taking Williamson County as example as my friend is from there. So let's see. You can type in Google apply for homestead exemption Williamson County, and then you can apply using the first non-sponsored link. So here I want to tell you another thing. If your house falls into two counties, then how do you apply for a homestead exemption? So there are two methods. So the first method is you need to apply for the homestead exemption to both the counties, and the county that does not take care of homestead exemption for your house will write back to you saying that you are not taking care of homestead exemption for your house. You need to apply to the other county that you belong to. So this is how you will come to know which county is correct and which county is wrong in your particular case. So you need to apply for both the counties, and the correct county which is taking care of homestead exemption for your house will forward your application to the other county as well, and the homestead exemption is applied in your case. So this is for people whose house falls into two counties. Now this is the first method, and the second method is you can go to your neighbor and ask them which county you need to apply homestead exemption to. They will tell you county 1 is the one taking care of homestead exemption for the houses that fall into both county 1 and county 2. Then you can apply to that particular county. Now here we are taking an example of a house that falls into one county, which is Williamson County. Go and click on online exemption information, and here it is going to say that there is no fee to file for homestead exemptions and no need to reapply annually, as I have previously mentioned to you. Now, in order to apply for the homestead exemption, you need to click on your property and click on homestead exemption. So for each of the county there is a slightly different method, but mostly the application would be either online on their website, or it will be through email, or you can get a form, physical form, by visiting the county office. They will give you application for homestead exemption. It has certain questions. You need to fill the details of you and also the details of your national or state ID that has the address of your current home, and then you can submit the form, and then they will apply homestead exemption on your house and your property taxes will be reduced. And if you are eligible for any refund for the past year you have been living in the same house, then they will issue a refund as well. Let's go to the property search box, and here let's take an example of a home. Let's take a random home here. Let's take the first home here, and here we have homestead exemption, HS exemption. You need to click on this link. It is giving you some of the details. You need to provide the updated driver's license or a Texas ID that has the current physical address and homestead cap as well. You only need to apply once, and you need to reapply only if you have moved to a new residence or applying for additional exemptions. So let's click on continue to homestead application, and here it has already taken the account number to which your house belongs. Now you can mention, are you filling a late application? In normal cases it is option no. For my friend it would be option yes, because he has been staying in the same house for 10 months, more than 10 months, since December last year. Select the first year you believe you qualify for an exemption. You can click on the option of 2023. Then you can check the exemption that you are requesting for. So it is general residence homestead exemption. It is not a disabled person. It is not for person age 65 or older. But if you belong to any of these particular cases, then you can also check those options. This is 100% disabled veteran, surviving spouse of armed services member, surviving spouse of a first responder, donated residence of partially disabled veteran. Do you live in the property for which you are seeking this residence homestead exemption? Yes. Cooperative housing. Do you have an exclusive right to occupy this property because you own stock in a cooperative housing corporation? In normal cases, the correct option is no. Were you receiving a homestead exemption on your previous residence? My friend is a first time home buyer, so I am selecting the option of no. What was the address of your previous residence? So you basically need to mention your previous residence address. This is just for information purposes. You can mention the name of your city, then mention the name of your state. It is asking for a 2-digit code, so TX. Then the postal code can be 78664. Please fill your details. County, this is going to be Williamson County. Then property owner, whether you are a sole person on the deed or whether you are a married couple on the deed, you need to select that. So in my friend's case, the spouse and the husband and the wife both are on the deed, so let's select married couple. And here you are supposed to upload a driver's license or a state issued personal identification certificate that has the current home address. So please remember, if you have the address of your previous rented residence, you cannot upload here. First you need to go and reissue your driving license with the current home that you own and are staying in, then you need to upload here. Assuming this is a driver's license scan, so it has successfully uploaded. Then you need to enter the name of the property owner 1. So first name first, middle name, then the last name, and the birth date. You need to select your birth date. I further affirm that the address on the uploaded Texas driver's license matches the physical address of the subject property. Yes, you need to click on yes. Then the driver's license number, you need to enter the driver's license number, whatever it is, something like DLTX 75632. Percent ownership interest, so you are 50% owner because other 50% belongs to your spouse. Then you can enter your email address. Make sure you enter an accurate email address. If they have any questions, they are going to email you. And primary phone number, you can provide your phone number. Then the property owner 2, you basically need to provide the driver's license of your spouse. Once again, please remember that the spouse's identification card also should have the current address you are living in for which you are applying homestead exemption. Once again, I am going to upload a driver's license of your spouse. Then you need to mention the name of the property owner too. First name, then last name, then the birth date you can select. Then you can enter the driver's license number. Then the percent ownership is 50%, and then you can enter the email address of your spouse at gmail.com. Make sure it is correct. Then applicant mailing address, is it different than the physical address? If you are living in the same address, then the mailing address and physical address would be same, so select the option no. And then date you acquired this property, so enter the date when you purchased the property. So let's select December 1st. In our case, date you began occupying this property as your personal principal residence. So you can enter the same date. If you have moved to this address on this particular date, then what is the property address? So basically you enter the property address here. Make sure you enter it correctly, otherwise there will be some delays in the application. Otherwise it's a very straightforward process. 78664. There is legal description. If you know it, you can enter, otherwise not, it is optional. Is the applicant identified on deed or other recorded instrument? So of course the option would be yes. And then, is the property for which this application is submitted an heir property? If you have purchased it, it would not be, so no. Is this property a manufactured home? So manufactured home or factory homes. If it is not a factory home, then you can select option no. Is any portion of the property for which you are claiming a residence homestead exemption income producing? If you are having any tutoring classes or if you are renting a portion of it, then you have to say yes. But in usual cases, in the principal residences, people do not have income producing parts, so select option no. Number of acres you own and occupy as your principal residence, so basically enter the acreage of the lot. So usually 6,000 square foot to acres would be around 0.13, so just enter 0.13. Then waiver of required documentation. So we have provided our driving license, so no need to provide any waiver. And if you have any additional information, then you can enter. If you own other residential property, please list the counties of location. If you do not own, then leave it blank. Then affirmation and signature. The property owner authorized representative name, so basically you can enter your own name. Then the title or authorization, you are the property owner, and then you need to sign here. Using the mouse. If you want to clear the signature and try again, you can clear signature here. And after that, you need to click on submit application, and this is going to submit for the homestead exemption. And if you are approved, then you have the exemption of up to 100,000 US dollars, and it's gonna save 1,500 US dollars per annum on your property tax bill every year. And you need not apply it again, and you can apply it only on one home, and the home in which you are living and the home that you own. So this is about homestead exemption. If you still want to save more on the property taxes, you can check out my tax protest video. It is linked in the description below. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm always available, and I'll reply you as early as possible for me. Thank you, take care, and bye-bye.